How to reduce the influence of your exaggerated inner critic. Such a long title. Yeah, well, this is what we have. How to reduce this negative exaggerated influence, chapter 3. Thank you for staying here. Thank you for trusting this process. Many times, for many people, realizing that they have exaggerated inner criticism, that many of the good things in their life are prevented from them just because they have developed within them this inner critic. Realizing this is so important and so life-changing. So it may be also for you a life-changing process, especially if you adopt the tools first to realize what's going on in your mind and then to do something about it. So this is chapter 3 that ends part 1, getting to know our inner critic as much as we can. Chapter 3 says that the purpose, the goal of your exaggerated inner criticism is to narrow, limit, and prevent your authentic creative expression. Up to a point in which many people feel, believe, even sure that they are not that creative at all. This is the result of the success of this inner critic in so many people. They forget their divine, natural ability to create, to make things that weren't there before. Once you manage to reduce this impact of your exaggerated inner critic, you find out how easy it is to be creative, to be original, to give expression and manifestation to your authentic voice. Many times we fail to recognize or to realize we have authentic voice because our inner critic says, no, you don't have anything special within you. Forget it. Just try to be normal and do your best not to make many mistakes and you'll be fine. This is more or less the message of the exaggerated inner critic that narrows us to be normal, to be like most other people, to be okay, to be mature, to be accepted, in times to be predicted, to be what people expect you to be. Eventually, you may not realize this. You lose the ability to find the diamonds within you. They are there. And it's not such a complex issue. It's not so difficult to be authentic. It's not so difficult to be creative, trust me. I have led so many people to their natural creativity just with the tools that reduce the influence of their inner critic. That's all. Because our creativity is there. We are born with creativity. As children, as long as we are not taught to think too much, to categorize too much, as long as we are not judged as good or bad, as made a beautiful work or not, as long as we don't get so many grades and assessments, as long as we are allowed to play in a spontaneous way, as long as we receive positive feedback in our initiatives, our creativity flows, no problem. Easy. It is really easy. You know that many times the hard things for us mature people is actually to be simple. We create complexity over simplicity. Yeah. We are afraid to get back to our childhood, to get back to our authenticity, to the place where things were really simple. We have so many post-traumas from this territory, so we prefer to maintain ourselves neurotic, sophisticated, thinking in a very intellectual way, but hardly playful, hardly original, hardly spontaneous, hardly creative. And all this thanks to what we have cultivated day after day. A very prominent and stubborn and strong inner critic that always there to say if you were good or not good. Always tells you that it's bad to make mistakes, that it's wrong to fail. I do not want you to fail anymore. His inner critic uses shame and guilt to keep you small, to keep you afraid of trying new things, of going to adventures, to go to uncertainty and explore things without planning, without too much information before you go. Your inner critic is so busy stopping your creativity that you got used to it. We got used to it. This is how we are trained to think and to handle ourselves in school, in high school, in university, at work, everywhere. And if you want to gain, if you want to take new ownership over your natural creativity, and trust me, creativity is one of the most important tools for your mental health and from there to your physical health. When you are not creative, all your energy is stuck. You don't feel the flow of life. You are narrow. You have minimal solutions to a given problem. You're more anxious, you're more depressed, you're more hopeless, just because you cannot access your creativity that can help you cope much better with so many challenges. And I'm saying again, this is the goal of our inner critic. We have cultivated as culture general fear from our creativity, from our uniqueness, from our originality. It is as if we are supposed to be similar to each other, not to have something special or different, just to adapt to the general theme, to the general way of how everybody acts, etc. It is your job, if you like, of course, first to recognize that your inner critic is in a continuous competition with your natural creativity. And later, as I will show you, start implementing tools to reduce this exaggerated negative influence. But first, you need to know that your creativity is over there, waiting, ready to be activated, ready. You can activate your creativity in a snap. I can show you how to do it. But for you to do it in a very easy way, you need to recognize the enemy, the obstacles that try continuously to prevent this natural blessed flow to come out from you, your exaggerated inner critic. Get to know this truth about your personality. Get to know what's really going on in your mind, And once you realize this, once you start capturing the bad influence of your inner critic, we can ask ourselves, okay, so what are we going to do about this? Information in future chapters.